Great Friday sunrise, YouTube. I just came to say self confidence. Self confidence. It's described in a lot of ways differently by others. My self confidence is in the fact that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. So I know that all of my flaws and all of my good parts are were created on purpose and through my different life experiences. So be happy with what you have. Be grateful for being alive. And remember that no two people on earth are supposed to look the same. If God put so much detail in the snowflakes and the leaves to where they would all be unique, shouldn't we all be as well? I do not believe that any of us should be carbon copies of another. That's my belief. And I stand firm on that belief because as a teacher, I teach my students to love themselves. I used to love to read a book called The Colors of Us. And inside of The Colors of Us, it taught about differences. Differences in skin complexions, differences in body shapes, differences in eye color, texture of hair, all kind of things. Because I did not like when the kids would talk about each other or try to make somebody feel bad because they look different. And I also expressed to the children how I got teased mercilessly, mercilessly in my youth about my freckles, my behind, my legs, um, even my feet. Kids even talked about how fat and wide my feet were, and they said that they looked like fins that people put on to go swimming. So, with that being said, I feel like people always tease things about others that they actually like on that person. Oh, and the last part, my lips. I had people in high school tell me that my lips were too big. But now everybody wants big lips, and everybody wants freckles, and everybody wants a nice size butt. So it's like everything I got teased about is what everybody wants now. My guy friend even told me the other day, don't you know that women are out here getting surgeries to get your size breast and butt that you have? You don't know that? The lips that you have, and you have it naturally God-given. And I'm like, well, it never really dawned on me too much about what others were doing because I never lived my life thinking about others. I only think about the here and now, my family, I think about my creator, and I think about things like that. So when he brought that to my attention, I had to really sit down and just thank God because what if I was one of those people who wanted to go get their whole body changed because I wanted to look a certain way, like how I look now? Now, my midsection isn't snatched, that's for sure. But on natural bodies, that's how it is. We don't really have super flat stomachs. And, like the way that they're getting made or whatnot. They call them tummy tucks or whatever. So it's not too many people who have a naturally flat stomach and then a huge butt and then big old boobs sitting up there. Now, I have a sister who her midsection was always snatched, and that's because her mother always had a naturally small waist. We have different mothers, but the same father. So that's the only person I've ever seen with a big old butt, big old boobs, and a tiny, tiny waist. Okay, but also she got that naturally from her mom because her mom's side of the family is slender, but on our father's side, we're thick. So it evened out for her that way, right? But most women don't have that. They don't. And it's not really naturally just given either. So self-confidence is when you are just happy with how you look, period. You're just grateful with the way that you were made, the way that you look, and you feel good about yourself. I had to start practicing getting up every day, telling my own body that I loved it, okay? Because in the 80s, y'all remember Jordache jeans, they would smash my booty because I couldn't fit them. Because they weren't made for ladies that had curves. So, also in the 80s, big butts wasn't a thing. It was this. Everybody was on the boobs or whatever. Until Sir Mix-a-Lot made that song that said, I like big butts and I cannot lie. That's when they started liking big butts, right? But before that, no. Nobody liked big butts. Just like nobody likes strippers. Nobody likes strippers or exotic performers because I never even considered myself a stripper. I was an exotic performer who did a live porn act on stage. Yeah, we started off stripping, just shaking our butt, doing flips and splits and stuff like that on stage. And then it was like, a few $100s a night was not enough. So that's when we started Candy and Honey Show, which I will hear more about in detail in the documentary. I don't want to give anything away. But nobody really loves strippers until T-Pain said, I'm in love with a stripper, she rocks and she rolling, she rolling. That's when everybody started saying, oh my gosh, now I think I love strippers and I want to strip and I want to get a pole and I want to get a butt and I want to do all like this and that. And it was like, really? Before then, people just wanted to kill us all, kill us all. Kill us all that went up into the gentleman's club. Even if your bar made it in the gentleman's club, they want to kill us all because we taking their men and we taking their man's attention, and it's all our fault. Not instead of focusing on the fact that their home life was terrible and they didn't cook and clean right. So anyway, back to self confidence. The things that people tease you about now will be the things that they copy from you later. People used to tease me about putting stuff on my forehead and putting glitter on my lips and oh girl, you so weird and all of this. And it's like now that's all anybody does is the things that I've always done and have already done. It's really nothing that's being done that I haven't already done. As far as makeup, wearing the two shades of lipstick, one side this color, one side that color. Yeah, I did that in 2015, 16, 17, 18. Then I got tired of it and decided to get super glittery lips. But every now and then, I'll wear the two shades again. But it's like so many people copying off of it. What's the point? Also, the thing on the forehead. Indians have been wearing it for years, calling it bindis. That's the proper name for it. And I've been doing this ever since when I was stripping. I used to put it on my forehead and wear my long black wig because I like Sade. Now, Sade doesn't wear it on her forehead, but I figured I'd put it on my forehead since we do have Muskegon in our family. Muskegon is an Indian tribe that used to be called the Creek Indians. They started their tribes by the Creeks in Alabama, and my family is from Alabama, from the indigenous area, and we are indigenous Aboriginal people. I am not black. I'm Aboriginal, so please get that correct. Also, I've done things differently for a long time, and I've always gotten teased about it. Like my daughter's father used to tease me and call me weird. Why you put a butterfly in the middle of your forehead? Why you do this? Why you do that? Oh my God! Why you can't just be like regular broads? Because that's all he likes is basic broads. And it was like, I'm extraordinary though, sugar. You can't quench me, you know. So it took me a while to stand up in my self confidence all the way 100%. But once I started teaching hordes of children, then it came definite to me that I need to stand up in my self-confidence so that I could be able to teach them how to be self-confident because some of the kids were not confident because their skin was darker than others. And the other kids would be like, oh, you black. And I'm like, all of y'all black, just different shades. So I had to go get books like The Colors of Us, The Unity of Us, different books to encourage self-confidence in children as well as unity in children so that it will not continue to be the crab in the barrel mentality. We have to abolish what Willie Lynch taught us. If you really are a history buff, go back to the 1800s and get the Willie Lynch letter. It might have even been in the 1700s when he wrote that letter, and read it, and you will see how our people are still living in that debauchery to this day, hating each other, young against old, light against dark, men against women, within our communities. And it should not be this way. I want to say now that I'm not an activist, But I will never, ever, ever be a feminist either. I don't hate men. I love men. I feel like the world would be terrible if we didn't have them. Where would we be without men, right? We can't create children without men. Men were the first builders. Men were Men are the foundation of us. They are the foundation of family, period. So anybody who wants to hate men and say we don't need men, that's not a part of my self-confidence, because in my heritage, we love men. I miss my daddy. I wish he was still here. He is the patriarch of the family. I miss my grandpa. I miss my Uncle Jimmy. I've known, thank God, some really great men with wonderful character. And I'm meeting more men in the family that way that I hadn't had a chance to meet. And I'm getting the opportunity to watch the next generation of men grow up in our family, and they are so wonderful. And it's like anybody that hates a man, what's wrong with you? Self-confidence starts in loving others. If you can hate somebody for no reason, why don't you just love somebody for no reason too? I'm going to come back later because I got to go make some runs. So I will get back with you guys later. Love yourselves, love others, and let's just abolish the hate within our families, within ourselves, and within our communities. Where they was at? In the bathroom. Lord have mercy, I didn't even realize I had came out of there barefoot.